Non-attachment is a very powerful principle to use to create authority. When you really don't care about the outcome and you're very indifferent, you can actually create neediness in the other person, increasing your authority and diminishing their power. Let's take a look.
Neediness is something you want to avoid at all costs, even if you are in fact in a scarce situation. Neediness compromises authority and it's easily recognizable, so it will create a negative reaction in the target, sometimes a strong one of repulsion or even disgust, so you want to avoid it at all costs. You want to be free of the outcome, just like the Zen expression goes, desire without attachment. You want something to be done, you want to close this person, and you can try your hardest, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Non-attachment is a technique that goes very well with both specialization and the diagnostic. In terms of the diagnostic, if the person is really a true fit, then you're just trying to position something because of the fit and not because of your own desire. And if they're not a fit, you're not needy because they're not your target anyway. The more that you specialize yourself and the better the diagnostic, the higher the non-attachment, as the more you will know exactly what you do and how it helps the person. Look, people are smart. They clearly know when something is natural and when you're forcing it. This is easy to do when you have abundance, but it's important to also do it even if you have scarcity. There are two specific manifestations of non-attachment that you can use for an added effect. The first is sacrifice. This is very used by consultants and coaches. When a client or target is not a fit, you fire them. You make it seem like you are so non-needy that you're willing to even sacrifice money, clients or targets, just because they're not a perfect fit. The second is challenging. This is very used by coaches like me. The idea is that you're not there to be the person's friend, but instead to help them. And that includes pointing out some uncomfortable things they may not want to hear. The book The Challenger Sale is a great example of this. You're conveying the idea that you're so non-attached that you risk losing the person to maintain your integrity. Let's take a look at the do's and don'ts of non-attachment. Do make this subtle. Don't be too aggressive in saying that you don't need them or that you don't care about them. Let your authority and your results speak for you. There's no need to get aggressive. Don'ts. Don't seem cold and clinical. Being non-attached runs the risk of coming across as somebody who doesn't care about the other side at all. You can still be warm. You don't need to be cold just because you don't need the person.
So as we just saw, non-attachment is a great tool to use to really boost your authority. If you've done a proper diagnostic and you're properly specialized, it should come naturally. But if it hasn't, you can just force it with indifference. You can also use one of the two specific manifestations, sacrifice or challenging, to really increase that non-attachment.